Acapulco, Mexico. This is Anarchast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tatiana Show. It's February 1st, 2017, and we have a really great show planned for you today. Mainly because Josh is back. Josh, welcome back. I'm glad that you're back in the game with us, hanging tough. How was your winter break?
Oh, it was really good. I mean, there was lots going on here and there, but the good thing is we joined Techstars. Voltoro got into Techstars. They choose 1% out of all the startups. So we're really, really blessed to get in there, and it's really given us a massive boost of power and enthusiasm. And yeah, so we're just beavering on there, got some investment, and so we can really push Bitcoin and gold further to the stratosphere. Excellent.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. I didn't know that much about Techstars, but I guess every day you learn something new in the beautiful Bitcoin world. Our first guest, we have two guests coming up today. Shadan Goran, my friend at the blockchain event, which I'm going to be doing next month, or I guess this month already since we're in February. He's going to be coming up. He's also going to be talking about his project Chain of Points. But first we're going to bring up a oldie but goodie. A friend of mine I've known for quite a while now. I all of a sudden, as I said that, I was like, I didn't mean that he was old. I meant like he's been my friend for a while. So Jeff Berwick is going to be coming on, and the people who have been listening to the show know I've been promoting Anarchapulco because I'm going to be down there at the end of February. Before we bring on Jeff, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, the BitcoinCPA.com, keeping me out of jail by making me pay my tax slave wages. CryptoCompare.com, teaching us all about the crypto space. You can compare all your different cryptocurrencies and find out all sorts of information, even about stuff with Voltoro. FreeRoss.org, always a good place to learn about the latest from the Ross case. And if you click on the Amazon button there, you can get discounts on, no, you don't get discounts. They get a portion of what you get when you buy stuff on Amazon, but you don't actually have to spend any money, and you can still support the team. Lynn Ulbricht will be one of the speakers down at Anarchapulco, which is her first time. I'm excited. Third Key Solutions, shout out to my girl, Pamela Morgan, amazing at many, many things. SovereignTech.com is a awesome podcast. Brian helps us with the show, and he has his own thing going. He's been on our show. Oh, you have to be on when Brian comes on. He's a good guest. So SovereignTech.com. And yeah, I guess that's it. So our first guest is going to be Jeff Berwick. Jeff, welcome to the show today.
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I'm in a good mood. I'm excited to come down and get a tan down in Mexico. Are you excited to have everybody come and visit with you?
Yeah, I am actually. It's I've been just sort of by myself for a while. I think Luke Radowski was here a couple weeks ago. He was just passing through town. Of course, there's lots of people live here, but haven't seen a lot of people in a long time. I haven't gone to, I guess the last time would have been Freedom Fest in July, so more than 6 months.
Well, I know that a lot of people are really looking forward to it. How many people are you guys anticipating for the event, and what are the specific dates?
It's February 25th to 28th. It's gonna be over 500. We're not sure how many because hardly anyone really books until the last month, until basically right now. And so I've learned this is our third year of the conference, and you just like the first one, I was like, I don't think anyone's coming, and then all of a sudden, like I think 150 people showed up, and then this this year, I guess 2016. It really looked like it was just going to be maybe a couple hundred, and it turned out to be about 400 and some odd, 430, 450. This one we're definitely expecting over 500, but really no idea until it really happens.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a lot of people. A lot more people seem to be wanting to take a little break, especially, I don't know, it's been getting a little intense here in the U.S., so I think people are excited. They're like, before the wall goes up, I need to go to Mexico.
Come see Mexico before it's too late. They put the wall up.
So you guys have the thing for those 3 days, but there's events going on before and after as well, right? So what can people expect from the program? What happens before? What happens after?
Oh man, it's crazy. It's pretty much a whole week of stuff. So the day before Anarchapulco is my own Dollar Vigilante conference, which is a financial investment conference on February 24th, and February 25th, 26th, and 27th is all Anarchapulco. 28th is also Anarchapulco, but we've made that a special day. We've called it Cryptopulco, which is going to be all blockchain and cryptocurrency stuff. That's included in Anarchapulco. But if that's all you care about, you can just come for Cryptopulco, which is February 28th. Then afterwards, there's so many things on March 1st, there's Adam Kokesh's homesteading workshop. Dana Martin's having a 3-day family camp. Terry Brock's having an entrepreneurship seminar. On March 2nd, we're having Sasha Daygames having an anarchy and dating workshop. We're having an ayahuasca ceremony again this year on March 2nd, and other things as well. It goes all the way to March 3rd with events.
Okay, so when I heard that you guys are doing this ayahuasca thing, I'm thinking to myself that seems like something that should be managed by somebody who really knows what they're doing. And who's in charge of this pack of people that want to do this weird drug that makes you throw up? I'm very confused by, is this going to be properly administered? Because I was a little nervous.
Well, we actually did it last year. We did it last year at the conference, and there was no problems. We had 50 people do it. It was run by one of the top shamans in Mexico, and it'll be run by the same guy again this year. So not expecting any major problems. It's a number of the top shamans in Mexico will be here overseeing it. We've got all the best sort of facilities and all the best sort of even medical attention and stuff like that if anyone has any problems. Ayahuasca generally, no one ever has any major problems unless they don't listen to some of the things you're supposed to do, like you shouldn't be on opiates while you're doing it. So things like OxyContin and things like that. You definitely shouldn't be coming drunk or anything like that. But if you come in and if you've had a decent diet and if you haven't done any of the things you're not supposed to do, it shouldn't be any major problem for most people.
Wow. So do people really throw up every time? Somebody told me that it doesn't even work on some people. Like some people, nothing happens to them, and then some people go on a weird journey. Have you done it before?
Yeah, I've done it twice, and I've never heard of it not having any effect on someone. I think every time I've heard, they've definitely had an effect on somebody. You don't have to necessarily throw up every time. I've never thrown up when I've done it. They say it's sort of a purging when you do it. Every trip is completely different. It's definitely interesting and it's wild, and it's not something that should be taken lightly at all, but it's something that can get you outside of your headspace. And kind of what it did for me is just make me get very introspective for literally 4 or 5 hours and just sit there and look at every minute of my life and analyze it. It's like 10 years of psychotherapy within a couple hours, really. And some people can hallucinate and see things. I haven't seen too much of that. Mine's just been really introspective. But like I said, everyone has a different trip.
How long did it last? Maybe I am going to do the ayahuasca now. I think the throwing up part sounds horrible. That's why I'm not into it. And I think you're supposed to hate yourself or something. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions around it.
Yeah, there's lots of misconceptions. Like I said, though, it's different for everybody. Throwing up isn't necessarily... not everyone throws up. I hear that when you do throw up, it feels really good because apparently it's sort of like this purging sort of a thing, but I've never done it. It lasts about 4 to 6 hours, really, so not too long.
What day is it going on again?
I think they're doing it on March 2nd.
Oh, I'm gone by then. In my mind, you go to the woods in Peru or the jungle, and then you're gone for 3 days and you throw up the entire time. That's what I had imagined.
No,
you can do that.
I'm gonna try and find out a little bit more of information before I decide to go and do that. Josh, have you ever done ayahuasca before?
No, I haven't, but I've got plenty of friends that have, and it is meant to be, especially if you're going through a lot of stuff. Like Jeff said, it's all about reaching in and communicating with your subconscious properly or your superconscious, and really being able to express and communicate two-way with that and get stuff out that's just been locked away, and release it, stuff that your conscious just doesn't want to release and is sort of forces it. But, Jeff rightly said that you really do want a really good shaman, someone that understands, and shaman is just, it sounds all hoogy-boogy, but really it's a word for a traditional psychotherapist, someone who will walk you through, a psychologist that walks you through and tries to get you to communicate with yourself.
What if you don't speak Spanish?
You're shit out of luck. No, it's all...
Well, the shaman actually does speak English.
Questions that remain unanswered. You guys are kind of luring me in, though. See, this is what happens when people hang out with Berwick. They want to do drugs. Just kidding.
Jeff, I want to ask, you ask in every one of your shows, and I've been watching your shows since, God, you were a wee little boy. And the question you always ask is, when did you become an anarchist? And I've always wanted to ask you that and turn that question back on.
You're turning the tables on me. Well, basically, I think I always was an anarchist. I never really liked going to the public indoctrination camps called schools. I the tests after about grade 10. Did a deal with my mom as well because I wanted to get into computers. I wanted to start my own companies and stuff like that. But I didn't really know the word or the philosophy at all. I just knew that everything looked weird. I was like, why do we have all these wars? Why do we have all this poverty? And I looked at the political solutions when I was like 14, and I was like, well, this doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm just going to ignore that for now, just do my own thing. And I started up a number of companies, and I was doing that. I was trying to avoid taxation, try to avoid every regulation. I just wanted nothing to do with governments. And it was when I met Doug Casey around the year 2002, and we had dinner, and he said to me, he asked me a bunch of questions, and at the end of it, he said, you know what you are, don't you? And I said, no, what am I? And he said, libertarian. And I had actually never heard that word before. That was 2002. That was, you know, that word wasn't that well known back then. It's a lot more well known now. And then he asked me a few more questions, and he said, you know what you are, don't you? And I said, no, what am I? And he goes, you're an anarchist. And I feel so ashamed now to say this, but I said, what, you mean those people who throw bombs? And he's like, no, that's not what it means. And he described it to me. And right after that, I just started looking it up. And right from then, I was like, this is the answer. This is what I've been looking for. This is everything, and hardly anyone knows this stuff. So after a number of years, after having traveled the world and seeing how the world worked and everything, I decided to kind of settle down here in Acapulco and started to tell people about what I learned. So I started the Dollar Vigilante to tell them about Austrian economics, about how the central banking system really works and how to protect yourself from it using things like Bitcoin. And then I started up Anarchast around 2011 because I just didn't see enough anarchist or freedom or true freedom shows out there that really were talking about the philosophy very much. So that's sort of how I got into all this stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that, you know, I have a lot of contact with some of the largest gold vaulting facilities here in Europe and a lot of the big wigs in gold. And a few of them have forwarded me Dollar Vigilante newsletters. So, you know, they're readers, and it's really great to see someone like yourself spreading the message of freedom, really. You know, like you said, the word anarchist, as soon as you say that, it conjures up Molotov cocktail throwing punks that believe in nothing and really are just lost souls. But really, it's absolutely the furthest away from truth as soon as you start. And it's a very, very old philosophy. It goes on and on and on through the ages, through monarchies, and of course was you have anarchy, monarchy, and then democracy. But yeah. So you have some very large readers over here in Europe.
I think there's a republic that comes in between there. Anyway. Cool. All right. So you want to give us some highlights about who's going to be speaking at the event? I like this little background, but I want to bring it back to where people should be going. Josh, can we convince you to go? I feel like now we're kind of pressing the envelope, and maybe you should come down to Anarchapulco.
Man, I would love to, but like I said, we've just joined Techstars, and it's really all about smashing for like 3 months. It's really hard once you've got this investment.
Fair enough. Fine. Jeff, tell us who's Jeff, tell us who's going to be at the conference that I know and that our listeners, because we go out over Let's Talk Bitcoin, IPM Nation, Liberty.me, and LRN.FM. So we've got a lot of different kinds of listeners. Why should somebody leave the cold winter months, which is already a big sell, and come down to Mexico?
Yeah, that's already good enough. We just added a couple of big name speakers just in the last couple of weeks. We added Foster Gamble, who did the Thrive movie. He's also sort of part of the Procter Gamble sort of, whatever you call that, fortune. The G. Edward Griffin, who wrote The Creature from Jekyll Island, he's actually one of the first people who kind of turned me on to how central banking worked. So I was really happy to hear that he's coming down to speak this year. Larkin Rose, of course, the writer of the great book, The Most Dangerous Superstition. Jeffrey Tucker, you mentioned Liberty.me, he'll be here. Adam Kokesh of Adam versus the Man, and now his latest is his Freedom book. You mentioned Lynn Elbrecht, she'll be coming down. It's going to be her first one. Lauren Southern of Rebel Media, she's got like a massive following on the internet. Luke Radowski, of course, our good friend Luke. He always comes down. Bruce Fenton of the Bitcoin Foundation. I just saw him actually at the Satoshi Roundtable last week or 2 weeks ago in Cancun. Julia Cheriansky, another friend of ours. A lot of these are both our mutual friends, of course. Roger Ver, the Bitcoin Jesus. Judd Weiss, who ran for vice president with John McAfee. A good friend of ours also. Rick Felfing, who was here last year. He's the founder of the Pirate Party. Pirate Party's getting into office all over the world. It's like almost the government in Iceland now is an anarchist party. So many amazing people. We're going to have people like Dana Martin, who's probably the top unschooler in the world. We just haven't even announced this yet. Mir One, one of the top graffiti artists in the world, is coming down. He's going to be doing graffiti at the concert where Eric July and Backwards are going to be performing. We're going to also
at that concert? What concert is that? Can I be there?
Yeah, well, you're going to be there for sure, but we're not sure how we're going to do it, because we also have a sort of a dinner where we might have some music, but you're going to be there for sure, of course. And then we haven't even announced this either. There's so many we haven't even announced yet. Elias Clay will be coming back, and so that sort of thing. Then we have Max Egan coming. We have Sasha Daygame coming back. Mark Victor, the attorney for freedom. We're going to have Mark Edge and Ian Freeman. You mentioned LRN. So pretty much everyone is going to be there. I could just go on and on. Dan Dix of Press for Truth. Tim Moan. Tone Vase, Tim Moan, the leader of the Libertarian Party of Canada, who's an anarcho-capitalist. Dan Larimer, who's the founder of Steemit. He's going to be at Cryptopoco. Vit Jedlicka, who's the president of Liberland, which is actually doing really well right now. I could just go on and on. It's just absolutely insane the amount of amazing people are going to be here.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm psyched to talk about Tatiana Coin and hang with people and talk about the new record, which Ross, I don't know if you know, Ross did the album cover for my new album, so it'll be cool. And we get to talk about that. Maybe me and Lynn will do a little song and dance.
It looks so good, by the way, the album cover. It looks so fresh. It's really, really slick. I love it.
Thank you. Well, we're quite excited. I just got the masters remastered yesterday. So, but okay, good. So before we bring you off, because we're going to bring up Shadon, he's going to talk to us a little bit. I wanted to see if there was anything that you wanted to talk about, like any kind of links or anything, final parting thoughts. Like, what do you think is going to happen in the U.S.? Okay, wait, here's a question for you. What do you think of Trump? Is he terrifying you? Is he mildly good? Is he just making people believe in the state for too long? What are your thoughts?
Well, nothing terrifies me. I actually don't really have any fear of anything. But no, I predicted he was going to get elected. I could see the globalists wanted to put him in, and I think he's basically a sort of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Essentially,
why do you think that?
Because, well, first of all, he's old school friends with the Clintons. He's old, like he's connected with all the same people as all the Clintons and Obamas and all these people. He actually went to one of the major Jesuit function just days before the election with Hillary Clinton, where they both celebrated because they knew that one of them was getting in for sure, and they're both on the same team. You just look at what he said. He's going to put Hillary in jail. Now he's like, oh, I would never do that. They're great. Clintons are great people. You know, this is how democracy works. They make things really horrible, like they do with Obama, with certain things. They get it so bad that they bring in a new guy, and they're like, look, this guy's going to retract a few of those things, but he's never going to get rid of the IRS. He's never going to get rid of the Federal Reserve. You're still all going to be slaves. The government's going to get bigger and bigger. He's expanding the military. He's not cutting back at all on the NSA and on spying of all citizens inside the U.S. So it's just exactly the same thing as Obama. It's the exact same thing as Bush. Exact same thing. There's no difference whatsoever.
Oh, geez, that's so sorry, Tatiana, but that's so refreshing to hear, because all I hear is a lot of anarchist friends who come from these anarcho-capitalists especially, have been just like, Trump, and I'll be like, what happened? Where? What?
Well, wait a second. Time out. He did get rid of the TPP, right?
It was already gone. That thing was dead. It's been dead for years.
Well, nobody, okay, fine, whatever. But nobody killed it in Obama's administration. Obama wasn't like, forget TPP, it's out of here. Like, it happened on
that's sort of what I said.
watch.
Like, they make a few horrible things so that when the new guy comes in, everyone cheers. They're like, yeah, look, we ticked a box and we won and we're free again. It's like, no, you're not. Nothing changed, really. What changed? Nothing.
What do you think of the judge pick? The guy that he wants to have being the judge?
It's a guy these guys shouldn't have any, they're not legitimate people. They can't make law. So
what about
I don't
the
care.
practicality of what you're talking about? I mean, yes, if everybody started thinking that we were anarchists, yes, we could do that. That's great. I love it. But I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. I mean,
well, is this judge planning on getting rid of the IRS? Is he planning on getting rid of the Federal Reserve? Is he planning on getting rid of...
No, but he's a better judge than the other people. And
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
You're in.
It's the exact same thing. Nothing's changed.
Well, okay, fair enough. We have you on the record. I hope I'm a little optimistic, but skeptical at the same time. So we'll see how it goes. And Josh, you can't have an opinion. You don't live in this country.
Neither do I. So.
What do you think of refugees?
What do I think of refugees? I think we're all refugees from government.
Like Syrian refugees right now.
Well, I think that was all caused by the U.S. government, the U.S. Department of Defense, the North Atlantic Terrorist Organization, NATO, bombing and having massive terrorist attacks and killing millions of people. No one talks about this. And the rest of the people that are left live in an absolute hellhole where they're just terrorizing them constantly. So they want to get out of there. I totally understand that. But that was all caused by government. So it's all caused by government. All these problems, we just got to get rid of government. Everything be fine.
Yeah, well, a girl can hope.
Like your average person does not want to, like Syria used to be a really nice place. Iraq used to be quite nice. Afghanistan used to be wonderful 30, 40 years ago before the US and all those people came in there and blew it all up. These people don't generally want to move to London. They don't want to move to the Midwest US. They want to stay where they were, but they've been destroyed and terrorized for decades now. And so that's what happens.
Yeah, it's true. Most people will move and then go back. Especially also people that are just refugees for or just people trying to find work where there's more work. They usually get some money and then they'll move back because you always want to go back to where your family's from. Not always, but generally a lot of people are like that. And people have this sense, and this happened to in Australia as well. People are like, Australia's the best country in the world. And you ask them, well, have you been anywhere else? No. And it's the same with Americans. A lot of people have never left and will just state outright that America is the best country in the world. And look, you can have your opinion, but...
I don't think that there's any problem if people come here, but I think that there are some very valid concerns about people having to pay for it. Obviously, It would be less expensive for everybody if we would stop bombing the hell out of places. That goes without saying, right? We shouldn't be meddling with everybody's stuff. But when people come to a country and they expect certain things to be provided for them, there's a natural irritation from any place. I mean, that's what we're seeing in Europe. Yes, there's some positive stories, but people seem to be upset that people are getting, entitlements when they come to the country. And that makes me wonder about the motivations. Like, why do certain people come from one area? Why don't they go to a neighboring country? Why do they come to Europe? And people would posit that that's because they're getting goodies there. What do you guys think about that? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. That's why you got to get rid of all these entitlements. Get rid of
the goodies. Got to go. Yeah, none of that. And the war. If they could just stop the bombing.
Get rid of the government. Everything's fine.
Well, you know what? I don't disagree, but I'm just trying to be a little bit practical in terms of what people can actually mentally prepare for.
Yeah, well, who cares if they're ready or not? Let's just do it.
But how would you propose that even happens? You can't, look, we're not going to show up tomorrow and be like, listen, Don, get the heck out of here.
It gets complicated, obviously.
Right. So that's what I'm just trying to be a little I had a disagreement with somebody about this very subject the other day because I was trying to be practical and they're like, you're a statist. And I was so upset. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be a statist. I'm just trying to deal in the reality that we have. Obviously, it would be better if we didn't have a lot of these problems, but the solution is less government. However, how do we implement that, I guess? And my solution, of course, is different Bitcoin stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, the problem is that there's a lot of people that are really they're living off entitlements. They don't know how to survive otherwise, and they're stuck. And if we just pull that away, then they fall, and there's a lot of suffering. So there's a lot of philosophy that has to go into how to secure and help people that really have been forced into that situation by the state apparatuses that are around them.
Well, this is all good stuff, guys, and I actually am enjoying this, but we are running out of time for the show, and I want to make sure that we bring on our next guest. Before we do, Jeff, one last plug. Where can people catch up with you?
Just check out Anarchapulco.com for our conference, February 25th to 28th, and if you want to check out Anarchast or The Dollar Vigilante, they're both on YouTube. Thanks, Tatiana.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeff. See you later. Bye. Thank you for joining us.
Are you coming back next year?
I wish we were already at next year so I could come back. It was so much fun.
I feel like I'm part of a big family here.
I've made so many amazing friends, instant amazing friends.
It's incredible to be around people who are so evolved.
The best part is always the people.
It's almost overwhelming. Just so many amazing people in one place.
There's always the trailblazers, and a lot of them are here.
This is now a pillar of the global community of freedom activists.
I mean, I'm filled. I feel like a champagne glass. Bubbly, renewed, festive.
A lot of people always complain, where are the women? Yeah, in Anarchapulco, that's where they're at.
Everybody wants to be friends. Everybody just wants to learn more about each other and really get to know each other because we already have so much in common, so why not actually be friends?
If you want to be a part of it, come and experience it because you're not going to get this experience anywhere else.
You will grow as a person.